What's going on? Yeah, yesterday, right? I took me some videos. I got me some Skywatch. But lately, I haven't had constant freaking Wi-Fi, so I can't connect to the internet and see everything that's going on every day like I used to. So now I'm kind of shooting freaking blind, shooting in the dark here, but can still. I done learned enough that I can spot out anomalies in the sky and record. And so I was recording, finding some anomalies. The sky had a strange color to it, like the oily rainbow colors, almost like strange luminescence in certain areas, and then other places strange shadow. And at the end, well, I was sitting there. I went for a long walk across the city. So by the time I get from one side to the other, seen a lot of stuff, right? I get to my destination, and I just was watching chemtrail after chemtrail after chemtrail after chemtrail. In the matter of 20 minutes, they totally make a line, like in North Star position, like from east to west, and across the North Star position, from horizon to horizon. Within 20 minutes, they had a big, huge freaking Wolverine claw line. Then, shh, what you tripping for? Then, in an hour's time after that, the whole sky was literally blotted out. And here's something I noticed yesterday. I felt the spirits change around in the environment because the weather was about 70 degrees. I seen dudes with no shirts on playing basketball. There was people hanging outside. There was kids in cars rolling, smoking blunts, like giving me the crazy eyeballs, like they wanted to freaking eat my face. You know, like that's that thuggin' type lifestyle. That's that thug life, that senseless thug life. I seen a video, man. It was called Gangland, and it was about the what is that place called, man? I keep thinking Australia, but it's not that, man. What the frick is it? Alaska. How you got these Crips that came up to Alaska, and they basically say half the year is dark. So during that time of the year, there's there's still gang violence. But they say as soon as the season comes where the sun comes out, they're all out driving around, shooting each other to death. So there is something to that the weather changes do affect people's behavior. Like they get crunk, like they want some beef, they want to go and stunt and show out, they want to go and take some power by force. It's like basically through fear they gain power and renown and reputation. And even in a magical sense, even though this could be totally secular, I mean, those are true witches and magicians and wizards. Like a true sorcerer, really, in modern times, would look like you see him every time you go into Rite Aid, or Walgreens. But there's also the street sorcerers, which they just all gang banged out, riding in nice cars with music and freaking shiny gold and silver rims and all that, and all the temple whores, that they can, satiate themselves with, because that comes with the job of being a sorcerer, because secretly, you're working for the man. You're working for straight up George Bush when you're slinging the cracks. And there's a lot more of that goes on. The sales of that, people get this itchy, wanting to run out and get crazy. The other dude that was over there was on his motorcycle. You can't drive those you can't drive those as much until it gets nice out. So he had his thing out, and me and him was sitting there bullshitting, and we were looking at the sky, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, man, don't you know they fired up the CERN machine today?" And I looked at him and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Man, I'm really impressed with you, dude, that you could actually break that down and tell me all that," because I'm like, it's rarely do I get to have a random conversation with a dude about this that is aware and is privy, and it's like, see, I didn't even have to watch. I didn't even need to be connected to the Wi-Fi, because now the information's already downloaded inside my brain, and now when I just catch it from the streets, it fills me right in. But he was telling me, like, I connected to the Wi-Fi of the street, of the word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? But me and him were sitting there looking. He was watching me, and like I was running around, kind of like a chicken with my head cut off for a few minutes, because there was all this activity in the sky. And he goes, "Oh, what? You looking at them chemtrails?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden he says, "Yeah, man, they fired up CERN today." And I was like, "What?" Because look, there was, for one day, it got 70 degrees. People's shirts off. It looked like people was shaking, wiping the coals out their eye. And then the next day it drops back down to 42 freaking degrees, and it's all dark again. Like, look, this year it's been 60% dark and 40% light, and yeah, there was like the whole sky was brilliant. But then they did this chemtrail op. They made this big Wolverine claw snowmobile track across the whole sky, and then it freaking blotted out the freaking sun. Then, like, all right, looking off to the western horizon, right? To the left and to the right of where the sun was, what is normally going down, like directly to west, there was giant red orbs on each side of the sky. And I know that's when I talk about chembos and the solar corona aurora things, which is basically like a big giant circle of light around the sun. And I noticed there'll be, to the left of the sun, there'll be a bright dot. And to the right, there'll be a bright dot. And that's almost like where they shoot their ionizing beams. That's where you get your sundogs at. And that's where you get these little chembos at. Is from these little, it's like they're shooting some kind of ray beam in the sky. Or either that, it's Planet X. And the sun is like reflecting. The sun's reflecting off of the Planet X, and then it's shooting back, like it's bouncing down over here where you can't see it, and it's shooting back up. It'd be like putting a mirror below the horizon, so you would have double the sun, because the sun, you'd see the sun's actual rays, but then you'd have a double ray bouncing back through the rays of the sun from a different angle, which would give it a kind of a different quality of light. But anyway, so as I was watching this to the west, I'm like, wait a second here, dude. I heard that there's an oceanic research facility in Minnesota that's a weather atmospheric conditions type observational post or whatever, or it's some like college that they are messing with this stuff. And I'm like, wait, they're using Lake Michigan as some kind of like mirror or some kind of like beam bouncer. Or maybe they're heating it up and then it's causing extra atmospheric water or whatever, and they're creating cloud cover with it, and weird, strange weather storms and fog and snow and all this other stuff. It was just, I was noticing it big time. But he told me they had CERN fired up, and it's funny that day you got everyone out taking off the shirts, and then the next day looks like that again, grayed up. Grayed and played, 42 degrees. And this has a psychological effect. Like, I bet you if you look, violent murders probably happen on days like yesterday. But on days like today, with this cold and this gloomy and this dreary, you'll have the opposite effect. This is where people get depressed and overdose, jump off cliffs and bridges, go turn themselves in for old warrants, break up with their girlfriends or whatever, or make overall bad decisions based on this melancholy, freaking fatalistic spirit. But then on the flip, like the yesterday, you get the kamikaze, freaking crunked up, amped up, turned up. I'm invincible. I'm a goal, like like Wu-Tang used to say, that kind of. But yet you cannot turn a single one of your hairs white, you know what I'm saying, or add 1 inch onto your stature, but you a gawk, you know what I'm saying? That type of what the heck is that? That was weird. That type of rebellious kind of like ascension, apotheosis type, delusion of grandeur type of a mindset comes out. But then on the flip, you got the, oh, I'm down and out. Oh man, woe is me. So I'm seeing how they are just messing with this. Like light, they say like, all right, light causes the melanin, but it also has something to do with vitamin D production in the body. So I mean, just in a real generic layman sense, it's like, look, I mean, psychologically, the light and the dark has an effect. Like what? People get more afraid to come out in the dark, right? Or some people are more comfortable there because it's harder to see them. It just depends on which type of personality you got and where you're coming from, how these things affect you. But, and I even broadcasted to you about how in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, how the Crips come out for 6 months of the year or whatever to bang real hard, but then when it gets dark, everyone's kind of low key. You know what I mean? But they're definitely effing with us in many different ways, and it's like, if this was just happening randomly and there wasn't a million freaking planes, like, I seriously, there was like no joke. And it's like, and I'm starting to notice the sky has got this, like, it almost looks like pollution, like LA, how you can see smog. It's starting to look like that around here, but I think it's just from the geoengineering planes. That's like they're doing it intentionally, like they're trying to cause some kind of smog effect across the whole planet. And like I said, even for a military aspect, if these people were all, they got an artificial sun environment that they hang out in, but for us out here, they force us to go through this kind of freaking, this long war of attrition to break our will and our spirit and wear us out, and then just like, you know, they jumping through all these hoops, man, just to do these little psyops, man, just to tweak you just a little bit more and make you a little bit more susceptible to their effery, to their fuckery. You know what I'm saying? Their chem fuckery and their CERN fuckery and all this other mess, man. But yeah, they can't hide it no more, man. It's just there's a lot of people aware of it, but they're just kind of like, they're getting kind of like, what's the word? It's the wolf, crying wolf, Chicken Little effect, where they've been hit with it so many times, and you get all this anticipation something's gonna happen, then it doesn't happen this time, then it doesn't happen the next time or the next time, and now you're all like, I don't even care. I'm sick of waiting on this, so I'm just gonna go to life as usual. And normally, then that's when they're gonna give you the real thing. It's not gonna be a prototype test run anymore. It's not gonna be a beta test. They're gonna go full scale hot and alpha on you. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be going, because you know what I'm saying. Before you were so diligent, but you know what I'm saying. They done desensitize you to it. You know what I mean. And then that's when they're gonna get you. So it's like they're gonna. It's like they've been doing it for a while. The conditioning, the Pavlov's dog, the salivating at the bell, they've been doing that for a while now. So it's going to go live, man. It's Wild Weasel, freaking straight up. Freaking WW3, freaking Terminatrix, Skynet, Armageddon, all these type of things, man. Project Bluebeam, The Arrival. What is that? 0 Year, Singularity. Look, the Angel from the Bottomless Pit. You know, I mean, even this CERN thing does seem like it's tied up into this evil weaved web